resilient damn football team right here, man. I'm so proud of you guys, man. That same process every week. One, two, three, win!
Hello, everybody, and welcome into Week 6 of the Sean McDermott Show, presented by Kaleida Health. Thanks for joining us there at home. Sean, thanks for giving us a few minutes here on a little bit of a longer week headed into Monday Night Football. Tough loss on a last-second field goal at the gun. What do you say to your team in the locker room after a loss like that?
Yeah, you know, it's not easy because our guys want to win. And I applaud them the way they came back in the game and they battled. We didn't play well enough to win, and they know that. And I think that's the key, is to get our level of play, our level of performance overall, coaching and playing up to a level where we give ourselves a chance to get the result we're looking for. And I didn't think we did a good enough job with the opportunities we did have to score points and hopefully put them away.
Yeah, well, there's always ups and downs in these games, but some of the positives, you know, you raced a 17-point deficit, you tied it at 20, got close to getting into overtime. What kind of positives or momentum can you take out of that game headed into this week?
Well, there's a lot. I thought our young defense, with the injuries that they've been battling through, that they did, right? There's a lot of good things. You know, Cole Bishop getting reps, and he had some tough moments. But I think as the game went on, you started to see him improve even through that game. And Dwayne Carter, so a lot of young guys out there. I saw them really flip the switch and play fast and play physical. And so we're also learning who goes where in terms of personnel and who's the best fit, again, with the shuffling of the lineup, continuing to get it just right.
One of the things coming into this game, a little bit of a sigh of relief even for the fans. Terrell Bernard got back on the field. It's like, okay, we got our guy back. Thought, okay, at least he'll settle him down. And then all of a sudden he gets an interception in the fourth quarter, the fourth down stop. He was just great. Yeah. And, you know, how good was it to have a guy like that not only just get back, he wasn't just limping to get on the field to help out. The guy made plays.
Yeah, he did, and he's a key part of our defense, leadership-wise, key part of our defense on the sideline also from a leadership standpoint for the team. You could feel his energy, and you just knew someone was going to make a play, and it turned out to be TB.
You got a young guy, Dwayne Carter, Ed Oliver out with an injury. Carter steps in, starts the game, has 3 tackles, a couple of tackles for loss. Tell us a little bit about how Dwayne Carter played against Houston.
Well, he made that first play on the screen, I think first or second play of the game. That was a big play. I think that helped his confidence, helped his energy level, and he really made some big-time plays in the game. And more than anything, you saw the physicality, you saw the juice and the energy, and, man, he was competing at a high level.
You talk about Josh. We haven't seen numbers like this from Josh since his rookie year, and not even then, you know. It just seemed to be a struggle, a heavy lift for him. And he said after the game, this is not a defining moment for our season. You know, he kind of could probably feel how he played and how it looked for him on that game. What can Joe Brady and you as a staff, what is a plan for a coaching staff at this level to help an elite guy like Josh kind of get back on track?
Yeah, well, it's got to start with our quarterback in terms of the play of our quarterback and how we can enable him to play his best every week. If you don't play well at that position, like he didn't and we didn't, the margins are very slim. So we've got to make sure that Josh plays his best football every week, and that starts with making sure he's protected, making sure he's managing the game properly, and then we're keeping him healthy through the course of the season.
We talked about Dwayne Carter, a rookie on the field. Cole Bishop was on the field as a rookie. Keon Coleman's been on the field since the beginning. Keon comes out. You're down 10 points late in the third. You're going for it on this ain't 4th and 5 inches. It's 4th and 5 yards. Josh hits Keon on a little hitch route, and boom, he goes the distance. What's it like for you watching that play happen? Because he had the one earlier where it's a miscommunication. The ball he wasn't ready for it. What's it like watching him, you know, have that play?
Yeah, huge for his confidence. Right. Just great to see us do simple better. Throw and catch, you know, one-on-one out there, and he turns it into a big play. So it doesn't need to be that complicated. I think we got to get back to some good, fundamentally sound football.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll get back with you later in the show to get your final thoughts on facing the Jets on Monday Night Football. Stay with us.
The Game Plan is presented by Energy Mark. Trust Energy Mark for renewable energy supply.
When we come back, Eric Wood breaks down the top plays from last Sunday's game at the Texans. Then we take an in-depth look at how linebacker Terrell Bernard's work ethic has taken him from high school standout to NFL captain.
Chopping Wood is presented by St. Bonaventure University, an official education partner of the Buffalo Bills.
Welcome back to the Sean McDermott Show, and it's time now for another edition of Chopping Wood with our good buddy Eric Wood. The Bills lost on a last-second field goal after a nice comeback against the Texans. What stood out to you from the game?
Well, the offense struggled again. They only put up 3 points in the first half, but in the second half, Josh got it going a little bit offensively. I love the way they recommitted to the rushing attack, even though they were down by multiple scores, and then they were able to get some things going on the ground. Ty Johnson ripped off a nice run, and James Cook had the rushing touchdown. For the second straight week, Josh hit Dalton Kincaid over the middle for a big chunk play, and something I'd definitely like to see more of. And then you got to love Keon Coleman making that huge play on fourth down for the touchdown. On the defense side of the ball, it was great getting Terrell Bernard back, and he made his presence felt. He had the awesome fourth down stop and then the huge interception when it looked like the Texans were going to put up points.
Well, we may as well jump right to the second half. The first offensive drive in this after halftime, it started with this 19-yard run by Ty Johnson.
Yeah, the Bills are in their heavy personnel. They got Alec Anderson in at tight end, so they have 6 offensive linemen on the field. He's going to be all the way to the right, lined up at tight end. He's going to give a little presence to Dion and then get up to the second level on a DB. Ty Johnson, seeing the free linebacker, knows he's got to take this ball outside. Well, the Bills had great blocking on the perimeter. Marcus Valdez-Scantling and Shavers on the outside. They get a couple nice blocks and spring them for a nice game.
Yeah, and a couple of plays later, Josh connected with Dalton Kincaid for 26 yards. This is the play you mentioned earlier. What did you see?
The Bills have Kincaid and Knox up at the top of the screen. And so they're both lined out to the left. And Knox is going to run a guy off. Keon Coleman's going to sit on a hitch. And that's going to allow Kincaid to come over the middle of the field. And he's going to be wide open just in between those two linebackers. Josh does a nice job with his eyes, getting those linebackers to separate to be able to make this throw.
Then on the next Bills possession, the Bills decide to go for it on 4th and 5. Josh hits Keon Coleman, who turned it into a 49-yard touchdown. What did you see here?
This was an aggressive call by McDermott to go for it in this situation. Houston ran a lot of man blitzes, just saying, hey, we think we can cover on the outside. Well, Keon Coleman here makes them pay. When you're going to run a cover 0 type blitz, so there's no deep safety here. It's everybody 4-on-4 in man coverage. Someone's got to win. Keon Coleman separates just enough and then makes a nice move after the catch to be able to break free. And then you see some nice blocking down the field from Dawson Knox and Hollins.
And then on the defensive side of the ball, Terrell Bernard made a huge interception in his return from injury. What did you see from him on this interception?
Yeah, I'm assuming this is film study. So Bills are in a 2-high look, cover 2. So Terrell Bernard's got that middle of the field. Well, he runs with Dalton Schultz for a second, so he takes him away. He gets C.J. Stroud's eyes off of him and then understands the route concept, understanding that now C.J. Stroud's going to want to go to Diggs. And this is just a really headsy play. He completely fools the second-year quarterback.
Great stuff, as always. Thanks for this, E. We'll catch up with you after the Bills face the Jets on Monday Night Football.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it, Steve.
Still to come on the Sean McDermott Show, learn how Terrell Bernard worked his way from high school standout to NFL playmaker. Then we take a look at some next-gen stats in Sportsology.
Yeah, so I'm from LaPorte, Texas. Grew up here, born and raised my whole life. Really hardworking, blue-collar city, small town. We have one high school. It was a place that molded me into who I am today.
It's been a journey watching him from Little League to flag football to here. And it's not even just about sports. Like, everybody focuses, I think, on him with sports. But it's also like he was able to get an education. He got his master's degree. He has something to fall back on. And he'll tell you from my dad put that work ethic in him. I did too, because I was a single mom, raised the 2 boys, did it, had the help of my parents. But work ethic, I think he learned from between me and my dad.
Everybody made sacrifices to make sure Terrell had the best upbringing and that he had the best and that, you know, that he could drive towards his goals.
Oh my God.
There he is.
That was probably like one of your first interviews, actually, right? On the field.
It's Deer Park.
So that's their big rival, Deer Park LaPorte. So it was after that game.
Having the opportunity to be back here and, you know, be around my family, be around people that have supported me, since I was a kid. I think that's the main reason why I chose to come back.
What's up, man? What's up? What's your name?
Timothy.
Timothy. I'm Terrell. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
What's up, guys? You good? Terrell. Nice to meet you. What's up, bro? Terrell. Terrell. Nice to meet you.
How hard is it to be in the NFL?
It's hard for sure. I feel like it's harder just the consistency. You got to be doing the same thing every single day, and that's what Coach Perneath was talking about. From like my freshman or sophomore year on, like I've been doing the exact same thing every single day. It's not necessarily like what you're doing, it's how you're doing it and the consistency in which you're doing it. Does that make sense?
Is there any days that you don't want to do it, but you still do it?
Oh yeah, most of the days I don't want to do it. Yeah, most of the days I don't want to. Your body gets to hurting. You get mental fatigue, like you just want to go hang out, you want to chill. But I write down all my goals and stuff, so I have things that I look at every single day, and it's like if I'm not doing something that day to reach that goal, then I feel like I let myself down, and I never can lay down at night and feel comfortable if I know I didn't push myself to try to reach that goal.
He showed up every day, ready to work, never missed a practice, never wanted to miss a practice, even when he was injured. And we would say, hey man, go over there and chill out. We know what you could do. Nah, coach, I need to be in there.
The key to Terrell was he did everything right. And he listened to you if you told him what you're supposed to be doing. He took all that to heart and set his goals and ended up being pretty darn good.
Tell me about Josh Allen.
Josh,
you been to his house?
Yeah, I've been to his house.
Yeah, it's big.
It's big.
It's big. That's a big dude, man.
He's huge.
I'm gonna show y'all, this is our basketball arena. It's something to see for a high school. If you guys ever been to a high school gym, look like this.
Yeah, this is crazy. It ain't nothing like what it used to be. Like the old one.
No. So I'm gonna tell y'all another story. I'm a storyteller. So when he was a freshman, the freshmen don't work out with the varsity. He was over there freshman workouts, and the defensive coordinator and I, we were both over there looking, and it's like, man, we think we might need this kid to play varsity. And so we get to arguing about what's he gonna play, running back, linebacker. And man, we moved him over there, and from started day one. In the history of LaPorte, there's been 5 freshmen that have played as freshmen, and he was one of them.
Early on in my football career that I figured out if I could work at a certain level and put enough time in that I could accomplish what I wanted to accomplish, even if people around me were telling me that it wasn't gonna happen. That was one of the first things that I realized. If I did the work, it's possible.
He motivated the other kids because he was our best player, and he practiced every day.
When he was on the practice field, his next position guys, he's coaching them up that were getting the reps behind him.
They just watched him. And before you knew it, he would be out here working out, and it'd be 10 kids out there working out with him.
By his junior year, he knew the defense better than some of my coaches did. He was a film room guy too. He'd come in and watch film, and I'd be here working in the office, and everybody's gone, and he's in there watching film, and it'd be like, hey, it's time to go home, bud.
Next up on the Sean McDermott Show, we break down some next-gen stats in Sportsology. Plus, hear Coach's final thoughts on facing the Jets on Monday Night Football.
Sportsology is presented by ECMC. ECMC, bringing hope and healing to Western New York.
There were a few big-time plays against the Texans. We want to take you behind the scenes of some of those plays to showcase the incredible X's and O's. Rookie wide receiver Keon Coleman had a huge touchdown on 4th down. Coleman caught a pass from QB Josh Allen and toe-tapped his way 49 yards to the house to put the game within 3. The rookie reached a top speed of 19.35 miles per hour and gained a plus 37.7 yards after the catch over expected on the play. This ranks top 10 in incredible yards after catch per Next Gen Stats. Coleman is averaging 19.4 yards per catch this season, which is the most among any rookie wide receiver with at least 10 targets. We're looking forward to seeing more incredible plays from this offense as they move on in the season.
After the break, the crew from Buffalo Bills Weekly gives us their game preview for Monday's matchup with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Plus, Coach shares what it will take to get the win on Monday night.
The Bills have their third straight away game. This one is against the Jets. The Jets had some shakeup this week. Owner Woody Johnson announced on Tuesday morning that he fired head coach Robert Saleh. Saleh started the season 2-3. Johnson said, "We're just not where we think we should be at this point in the season." There were some big expectations on this offense, Chris, with a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. Well, through 5 weeks, they rank at the bottom 10 of the NFL, averaging just 18 points per game and have the worst rushing offense in the NFL. What led to Saleh getting fired at this point in the season?
Well, I mean, based on what we're hearing out of New York or New Jersey, I guess, is that he kind of lost the locker room. And I think, look, Saleh was a great defensive coordinator, in his years in San Francisco. And yeah, those guys often elevate to head coaching jobs in this league, but great coordinators don't always make great head coaches. And I think there was a leadership void there with him, and I don't think he cultivated a team atmosphere in the locker room where you really have guys pulling for each other every week out on the field. He also had the deck stacked against him a little bit, 6 different quarterbacks in his 3 years.
When you look at interim head coaches in their first game as a coach, they have a 16-13 record since 2010, according to Fox Sports. This game is not going to be easy for the Bills because you got a guy coming in who the team is going to rally around.
Right, and you're also going to have a Monday night atmosphere in MetLife Stadium, so everybody's going to be charged up for that. So the key for the Bills there is to try to hopefully get up on the Jets early, quiet the crowd, reduce the intensity of the atmosphere. That doesn't mean that the Jets are going to lay down by any stretch, because there usually is a nice performance bump the first game after a change like this. Down the road, I don't know that it's going to help them all that much.
Chris, let's flip it to Buffalo's offense and what they need to do against this tough Jets defense. They're the second best in the NFL, allowing an average of just 255 points per game. The Bills' offense hasn't been that high-flying offense that we have wanted it to be the last 2 weeks. Offensive coordinator Joe Brady, coming off of his second loss, said, "We've got a lot of things we need to clean up. It didn't matter if we would have won the game against the Texans. We need to clean up a bunch heading into this Week 6 game."
Right, but I think to help Josh the most, obviously pass protection up front, but I think the second thing is we got to reincorporate motion back into this offense. I know running a lot of pre-snap motion is much harder on the road where communication is more challenging for an offense due to the noisy environment, but you got to find a way to reincorporate it into the offense. And one other thing I'll throw in here, in previous matchups with the Jets, particularly down there, they will incorporate a spy for Josh at times, but sometimes they go without a spy. And we've seen instances where Josh gets out on the edge and he's looking to make this giant play down the field rather than take 15 yards of green grass in front of them. Knowing how hard it's going to be for the Bills to get yards against this Jets defense, Josh has to take those yards with his legs in this one.
For more from Brownie and Maddy, including insights from players and coaches, plus exclusive interviews, check your local listings for Buffalo Bills Weekly, also available on Buffalo Bills YouTube.
Coach, going on the road for the third straight week, we knew it was going to be a tough stretch. The Jets are 2-3, just lost to the Vikings 23-17 in one of those London games. Aaron Rodgers, you're really kind of facing him for the first time. He was out after 4 plays last year in that opening game, but this year you've got a few games to look at, watch film of him and this offense, get a better handle on what you're going to see. What's the key in preparing for future Hall of Fame quarterback like Aaron in a game like this?
Yeah, well, he's extremely smart. He knows a lot of what you're doing pre-snap. He studies all of that. We have to make sure that our disguises are built in a sound way and that we're not tipping too much. He's going to be able to diagnose some things, but we're not tipping too much pre-snap. And then fundamentally, we've got to be on our game.
One of his main weapons, Garrett Wilson's had 13 receptions and 100 yards for Minnesota, 22 targets. He's got 21 receptions for a couple of 100 yards. Plus, he's got 213 yards and 1 TD in 4 games against you guys in the last couple of seasons. He was Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. I mean, he's kind of evolving now before our eyes. What are the challenges of defending him, and what do you see in Garrett Wilson?
Well, he's a tough matchup. You know, it's a matchup game. He presents a tough matchup, and as you said, Aaron loves him, loves to go to him, and game on the line, that's probably where he's going. So we've got to make sure that we've got that on lockdown right there.
All right, Coach, good luck this week on Monday Night Football in New York. And for everyone at home, thanks for joining us on the Sean McDermott Show, presented by Kaleida Health. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next time. And as always, go Bills.
Final Thoughts is presented by Toyota. Toyota is the exclusive and official vehicle of the Buffalo Bills. Toyota, let's go places. The Sean McDermott Show is presented by Kaleida Health, the official healthcare provider of the Buffalo Bills. By Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. Call 716-684-COMP today. And by Toyota. Toyota is the exclusive and official vehicle of the Buffalo Bills. Toyota, let's go places.